Good evening, and how are we all doing? As you can see, I've got some good ones in the panel as always. Obviously, three of them are quite happy people at the moment, considering how the weekend went, and there's one, namely me, who's not happy with how the results went. But that's another thing altogether. We'll carry on with that. Anthony, how are we doing, mate?
Not too bad, mate. Good. Well, we've had a good game of football all over the weekend, and really enjoyed it. And looking forward to tonight's show.
Thanks, mate. And Jez, how about yourself? How are you keeping?
Yeah, good. Great weekend for me. Another pummeling of Burnley. What's happened with Arsenal? What's going on? Loving it. Brilliant. Quite interesting on the player ratings and fan chem I did with Lee. I don't think people sometimes actually watch the shows properly. There's one guy said to Lee, Kenny, me, Matty, "Oh, you never praised the manager." Funny that we gave him 10 out of 10, and we gave him 10 out of 10 last week. And then you've got people coming in saying, "Do you not actually watch the show, you clown?" They've just given him 10 out of 10. And what's wrong with these people, man? I mean, come on. Yeah, I had a great weekend, mate. It's been great fun, and glad to be back on your show.
No, thanks, man. I mean, that's a good comment. Like, you've got the best defensive record in the league, conceded just 22 goals. Not bad at all.
He's finally fixed the defence.
Yeah.
And Fuzzy, how you doing, mate? Good to see you on here as well.
Doing okay. The big relief that the football this weekend is pretty much wrapped up, done and dusted, and we finished getting 3 points as well. Very ugly game, we can say, barring 10 minutes at the start. Rasmus Højlund's brace. It's always nice to see. I think it's also a Premier League record as well that he's taken this weekend. So double positive for him at least. And we're doing all right. Big news, hopefully. Sorting out the Dan Ashworth stuff in the new week, starting from tomorrow. So hopefully we get all that sort of things. I think Wilcox as well, set to come in to work alongside Dan Ashworth. So there's a lot of things. The wheels are now starting to turn in motion, and could have a very different looking Man United by the other end of the week. So
yes, it's looking pretty good for you on that. And obviously, as you know, good old West Ham, as always. We saw the comment earlier on Moyes there. Yes, doing really well at the moment, Moisey. I just looked at his current form. If you look at it, we've played 8, we've drawn 4, lost 4, only scored 4 goals, yet conceded 16 over the last couple of games. So, he's doing very well at the moment. And, of course, it comes down to that same old debate, Moyes in or Moyes out. I mean, Anthony, asking you in that, what would you say on that? Moyes in or Moyes out? Evening, Mama Flossie.
Oh, well, we just talked about this on my last show. And do you know what? It seems like it's an hard one, because obviously debating how good he was for you, managing your team last season. You won a Europa League conference, and you finished I think 7th last season or something like that in the table. But I mean, you're 9th, I believe, at the minute in the league. But you're still not out of it. I think the part is what fans are relating at. We signed your best player last season, Declan Rice.
Yeah.
But what you've done, you've replaced him with a few good players, quite with Kudos and Paqueta and another guy. But I got to be honest with you. I mean, they're not bad replacements, are they? Do you know what I mean?
No.
So I feel with Moyes, listen, it's like with Arteta. When we first had Arteta, we finished 8th twice on the trot. Yeah. So in all fairness, I think you will give Moyes, when I see give him time, give him to the end of the season. Let's see what he can do, what he can produce. I know your owner, one of your owners, are not. They don't like him. I think it's Karen Brady is keeping him in the job at the minute. But your other one, what's his name? Your other owner?
Oh, Gold.
Go, yeah, they didn't
Sullivan
really.
Gold, yeah.
But yeah, he doesn't like Moyes. He don't get on with him, does he?
No, Sullivan
So I
doesn't.
hear,
No, Sullivan
no,
doesn't.
so I've heard from the grapevine and that. So it's a shame, really. But I mean, he's created a bond with the players as well. You know, with your players, is knowing if he is gone and another manager steps in, is he going to do the same? Is he going to try and create a bond with those players? And would they, would they correspond with him as well? Because some players, as we know, they like to shove the manager underneath that bus, if you know what
That's
I mean.
true. Yeah.
And if they don't like him, so he's all well and good. Personally, give Moyes to the end of the season. That's all I'm going to say.
Good. I'm just going to go to this comment here. BVB David, big up to yourself. Have West Ham won a match after winning 2-0 away to Arsenal? No, is basically the answer. I think we're still in shock after doing that, and it's forwarded us to the very point itself where we are now. So no, we haven't won a game since that point. I mean, Jez, obviously I know you're a Gunners fan, but looking at the situation at West Ham, Moyes in or Moyes out?
That's a very tricky one right now to answer that, because I think it's quite clear the team's just not performing for you right now. Do I look at this from the point of view that you won a European trophy under this manager? Well, that's in the past. You've always got to look forward. And I think right now, right this time, to maybe get something better out of your season, maybe it's time for him to go and move on, get the new manager bounce, story, type thing. Yeah, it's a shame. I think he's done a good job at your place, but maybe if I was the management at your club, I'll be looking to say, well, yeah, I think it's time to move on and we'll get somebody else in. Let's see if we can get something out of the season.
No, that's true. That's a good comment, actually. I'll make you right on that one. I mean, Fuzzy, obviously, as you know, the man, he managed your club for a short period of time. Moyes in or Moyes out? Maybe it's a trick question for you.
For me, Moyes out. Get absolute. Literally came into Man United and just took everything that was structured in the ways of winning and ripped it all up and said, "We're going to do things my way." So instead of sticking with a lot of what was, proven, like what helps a club win, instructed, set up for you, just come in, just put your game plan, your little spin on things. Nope, he decided to completely shift the direction of Manchester United, and it didn't work out well for him at that point. And I think with West Ham, I look at it, his manager in managing West Ham is a bit like, I think a bit more comparing it to how he managed Everton, because he's sort of at a club at a similar sort of level, building something there, a project there, a team in his image, and sort of seeing where he can go with it. And to be fair, with what he's done with his West Ham teams, he's got them silverware for the first time in pretty much forever. Put them on the map, but it's just what he's going through at the moment it's as I said previously, West Ham, that team is stagnated, and what's the best way of fixing a stagnant team? Is it play through it, change a few tactics here and there, switch a few things up, bring somebody fresh into the team, take somebody out of the team, or is it just completely hit the reset button and swap the manager? For me, I would be more partial to keeping him there and sort of changing a few things around. Try and make the best of a dodgy situation, and prove your keep, earn your keep as a manager. Change something up and turn some of your fortunes around for the season, and then go back to the drawing board. The club can then decide at the end of the season, is that going to work out for us long term? Because then if you change your manager, at least then it's more seamless. It's not halfway through a season it's probably at the best time or the most appropriate time without everything going horribly wrong to sack a manager or to change a manager. That for me, at least given to the end of the season, because I wouldn't say it's disastrous for West Ham and it's just there's absolutely no coming back. He could find a way to turn it around little by little, but there's something there that he can perhaps turn his fortunes around with. But he's got to figure out what that's going to be, and he's got to figure it out fast because time is going to quickly run out in the Premier League, and if you hold on to something a bit too toxic for too long, or if something does become toxic, then ultimately do more damage.
Of course,
holding on to something longer.
Well, he's only got apparently 3 more games to turn it around. So, I mean, it's a great comment here by Big T, actually. If West Ham Club got the funds to back a better manager, is what you class as being a better manager. If not, why change Moyes? With the quality of other London and North West clubs, are West Ham realistically going to be much better? Probably not. I mean, obviously, the rumour is Potter is the favourite, but we'll see. I mean, if you look at it, we know what he did at Chelsea, but West Ham are nothing like Chelsea, so it could be a good fit for him. But again, if you look at it by the panel, obviously Anthony and Fuzzy, you're on the thing of giving till the end of the season. But in certain respects, I agree with Jess. You're only as good as your next game, and as much as he's won us a cup, that's it. You now move on to the next season. It's all about results. You've got to get results to be where you are. And if you look at it, not being funny, being it's like these two are Arsenal, it's the fact that Arteta has actually got that club playing, and you are in a serious shout of actually winning the league now, and it's up to you. It's yours, as you know full well, to royally balls up. But looking at West Ham, it's the fact that do we stick with him till the end of the season? Knowing Sullivan, yes, because at the end of the day, that way the contract's ended, he doesn't have to pay out for him, so there's no kind of compensation at the end of that. And knowing Sullivan, he'll probably do that route. But Moyes ain't doing himself any favours because now he's come up with the same kind of comments as he did as last week, blaming the players and not the tactics and the formation that he chose yesterday, which again reared its head and we saw the result. So it's an interesting one from that point.
I think when your manager does that though, Tony, that's not good because you've got any top manager and I say every manager in the Premier League is a top manager because you've got to do something to get there. Okay. And this guy is a seasoned manager. He's been around the block many times. And to actually sit there and blame your players and not actually look at yourself and say, actually, am I doing this wrong? Have I got this wrong? Because all the time, to me, with the way professional footballs are now, they're so sensitive and get hurt all the time by having negativity, then that's not going to work for you as a manager because your manager's they're going to turn to against the manager. Yeah. And you start doing that, and that's when you lose. You're going to lose whatever you try and do. That dressing room's then gone. We've seen it that so many times in recent years. That if you upset your soft little players, then they're not going to be with you. And if you haven't got your players with you, mate, you may as well walk because you're never going to get them back.
No, that's true, isn't it? You know yourself, don't you? Once you lose the dressing room, that's it. It's hard to claw that back. Jeff saying here, the Bowling Lounge, big up to yourself. We've gone from one extreme to the other, to be honest. We have indeed, mate. There's no two ways about it. Being ninth isn't that bad for West Ham. Was done such a good job over the last few years that ninth is considered failure. I think it's not so much that, it's how we're playing, I think, is the thing that's raising its head. And you could say, obviously, we've had some, having Paqueta and Antonio out has caused a bit of damage, especially Paqueta not being there. We know a player doesn't make a team, but sometimes a player does help gel the team. And not having him in the side since he's been injured, that's also been instrumental to our downfall.
Yeah, because you are weak out on that left-hand side as well, too. Pretty much as well as up front in that striker role as well. Because Antonio, I don't feel like he's not the player as what he used to be. Age is not on his side now. He's sort of like 33, almost 34 now, I believe.
Yeah, coming up 34 now. Big up Noel Kane.
Yeah.
He is, yeah.
So obviously, you're gonna at that age, you're gonna lack pace. But the only thing, the advantage is with that age, the order you get in football is this. is your footballing knowledge, your brain. So that's the only good thing that you're going to have up front, unfortunately.
Well, the main thing, like you said, we lost Ben Rama and God, he's gone in my head. 4 nails. We got rid of those two and never got anything else to replace them two. And why do that at the end of the day? If you know you're not getting a replacement in, why ship the two off? Because now we're weak on the left hand side, and you can't keep them putting either Johnson or Kudos or even Bowen there. It just doesn't make sense. It really doesn't. Last 3 games, 11-0. For fuck's sake, that's not sustainable for any manager.
True. Not good.
Always ball in the bin. Big up to Kenny with West Ham United. So just looking back on the week and that, I mean, going off from topic we'll go back to the fixtures near the end, but obviously what was good to see that Liverpool are going to get Sven Goran Eriksson joining them in the AFC Legends management team against Ajax. So it's good to see that, he's going to get his final wish. Could be more happier from that. I mean, what do you make of that? Pleased for him?
I am, yeah. Fair play. That's respect. That is absolute ultimate respect. And fair play to the guy. He gave service to the England team, and fair play. And very sad to hear anybody that's in that position. And yeah, I'm glad. I'm glad they're doing. I'm glad Liverpool are doing that. Absolutely brilliant.
Yeah, I totally agree on that, Jess. I mean, Fuzzy, what do you make of that as well?
100%. Just doing something that's just a kind gesture, right? And sometimes you get a lot of moments where you'll see these big corporations or big clubs, big teams, big entities that don't really go out of their way for more or less these special requests as such. But I think just seeing this in general is always a nice thing to bear witness to, and it's just a really respectful act. And even regardless of me being a United fan, as much as I hate Liverpool Football Club, football aside, I've seen quite a few videos of Liverpool doing these really kind gestures for people who are terminally ill, or people who've got really massive disabilities in their lives. And these videos are really heartfelt, and I can't help but have absolute respect for the clubs that make those kind of differences to people's lives, regardless of who it is. So yeah, genuinely happy for him.
Brilliant. Anthony, what do you make of that? It's a good gesture, isn't it?
Yeah, it is a good gesture. I mean, he even come out, Spencer said that he's a Liverpool fan. He supported Liverpool as a young one, and he would love to manage them. And now, given that opportunity to manage that certain game, where he can manage these Liverpool players in that game, I think it's absolutely brilliant, fantastic what we've done. And you've got to respect the man and what he's done in football. Obviously, private life is a different matter, all in total, but. Yeah. I feel he's a nice guy in that, and rightly so. He deserves it, in my opinion. And hopefully, they win, and they'll do some. I think they'll do something for him as well after the game as well. So it just won't be that game. It'll be something else after that. They'll do nice for him as well. So yeah, I'm all up for that. And it's not just Liverpool. It's other teams as well. The likes of I've seen Arsenal do it, West Ham's done it, Everton, Sunderland as well.
Yeah.
And Buzz he's touched on it as well, with people with disabilities or illnesses and that sort of thing. So yeah, I'm all up for it, and that's what makes football good, in my opinion. It's just helping others, and it's not just that; it's for their communities and stuff like that as well. So I'm all for it.
No, definitely. I mean, I think, as you said, oppositions aside, it's all about the love of the game and honouring someone who gave his life in certain respects to football, and it's a way of paying it back and that. So I think it's a really respectful thing. Really do. I mean, obviously, just to answer this one here. Were Hammers fans really fighting each other? Yes, by all accounts, they were, mate. That's what we do. We don't muck around. We don't bother to fight other teams. We just fight ourselves. Much easier. Less hassle.
Within arm's reach.
Tony done it once to himself. He was fighting himself in an empty room.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. 2 black eyes, broken ribs. The works.
Arsenal fans did it when getting Wenger in, Wenger out, blah 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 blah. That was happening at Arsenal, and sad. It's sad when you see that. Of course, you know you don't want to see fans fighting amongst themselves, but unfortunately, the anger comes out and frustration, and it does happen, sadly. But yeah, never a good thing, is it?
No, we did that. I mean, when we first moved into the London Stadium, Jez, I mean, like, I witnessed it myself up in the Gunnels. People fighting with each other, and it's like, well, that's just absolutely ludicrous. Craziness.
Yeah, very true. I remember that.
Big up, Tony. No, exactly. It really was. How we doing, Rosie? Smash the likes. Good. Thank you very much. And don't forget to smash the likes for Hot Fuzz 44 and for Arsenal History and More as well. Please don't forget these great people as well, please. Thank you. Another one. I don't know if you remember a player called Quincy Proms, Dutch international. Apparently, he's been sentenced to 6 years for drug trafficking.
Yeah, I see that. Yeah,
Some people get up to.
It's
all that
just
money.
I mean, why would you get involved with that, right? He must have a shed load of money sat in the bank throughout his journey, and yet you go down that stupid route. I mean, where do some of these professional footballers get their brains from? It flabbergasts me to think, why would you even consider doing that? Because, you know, it's mad. I mean, you've got all that money you've earned, yeah? You've had a great professional life, and you start doing things like that. Come on, it's just nonsensical. It's not exactly it needs the money.
No, exactly. It's you said, like, you know, I think we had this conversation a couple of weeks back when we were talking about a certain player doing silly things, and it's a case of you get paid all this money. Does it send you down that route? I really don't know. I mean, Anthony, can you answer that question?
I don't know. I mean, well, to be honest with you, he's not the only footballer that's done it. I mean, I watched a documentary. In all fairness, it was a player that played for us. Okay, it was slightly different. It was Paul Merson. You know, obviously he was involved in the drugs and the alcohol, and then he was going into gambling as well. And he literally come out and said, all in total, basically, he just pissed £7 million up the wall. Obviously in total. So that was a rough estimate, like he said. But yeah, it's like what Jez said. You know, these players get X amount of millions of pounds when playing. You know, and then obviously they retire. All right, yeah, you retire at a young age. I mean, all right, let's say 36, something like that. But you know, I mean, I always said if you're a good footballer and obviously well respected, it's nice to know that if you can retire, you can actually put something back into football. This is what I kind of like with with certain athletes as well. And, you know, just put something back into it. It's a shame, really, that people actually got to go down this road and do it. I mean, you don't know what goes on in someone's head, whether it's personal reasons or anything like this and that. But it's like what I say, it might have been that. You know, you don't know. I mean, I don't know the full story on it, but you know, it's just a shame to see ex-footballers like Gazza, if you like yourself, you know, going down that road, and you know. You don't like it because it was like when we were young. You know, these are sort of players we followed and looked up to. And when we played football, we wanted to play like them. Like, you know, it sounds stupid, but we were like little kids. You know what I mean? And that. So when you people got to see that and like their heroes growing up and going into that is not really nice.
No, exactly. I mean, I'm just going to start some comments. I will come back to this one that Jaminio said, and there's a few others that I'll come back to shortly. In that, I mean, Fuzzy, what do you make of this situation with the drug trafficking? Why do players go down this kind of route with having too much money? Is that a problem? Too much money, and they don't know how to handle it.
We could probably go back to conversations about the people you surround yourself with, and if you're a professional with a lot of money, of course, you're going to have a lot of eyes on you. You're going to get a lot of people who want to, oh yeah, come and join in with us. That people want you in their lives when you've got money, or people know you've got money. It's a sinister side of things, and again, this is a sinister conversation about a sinister subject, and with that much money, you would hope people with that much money will be sensible, and for the most part, at least they're on the right side of the law. I know some people do some weird things when they're rich, mega rich, but outside of doing the weird stuff, full blown illegalities, and getting into trouble with like the law, the governments, and all of that stuff, trying to do trafficking it's just like you're pretty much signing yourself up to live a life on the run, and that's for people usually that cover who they're not in the public eye. This is a professional footballer who's played for his country, who's well known across all of Europe, and you're having any affiliations to that sort of illegal business. Yeah, I don't think anything it can be perceived as a mistake in this. This is just absolute insanity and stupidity.
Yeah, when you push yourself down the road. Sorry, Jess, go on.
Go on. I mean, there's a great comment somebody just put in. Big T, Best Gaza, Maradona, Merton, Ruddock. Fantastic, amazing footballers. Destroyed their careers through drink and gambling. I mean, does anybody remember the program? It was Harry Redknapp. It was a put together ex-England players.
Yes, well, they went on tour, didn't they? They went on tour. I remember that one. Yeah.
And there was one bit where they're in a bar. I think it was in France somewhere. And Merson was talking to Ruddock and saying, "Look, mate, I'm worried about you." And they nearly ended up in a bloody punch-up.
That's right.
And Paul Merson was in tears over it because he was concerned about his friend. Because Razor Ruddock admitted he had heart issues because of what he'd done to himself. And that was quite a heartbreaking show, because the love between two opposing footballers who play for different teams and played for England and all this sort of stuff. And I found that quite sad. I do believe now that Razor Ruddock has actually turned his way around. He's had heart surgery, I think, 2 years ago, something like that. I think he had a couple of stents put in, sort him out. But when I actually saw that and watched that program, you really look at how Razor Ruddock was. He was a big man, big player, physical. But the state of him physically in that program was such sadness, where people can fall down. I mean, it's awful. And there's so many other players. I can think of players over the years that have gone down the same road. Kenny Sampson, right?
Yeah, what sad one. As I said, what a sad state of affairs that was.
Yeah, Arsenal Football Club helped him out. He was damn near bankrupt. David Hillier, promising young man, played in the '89 and played for George Graham. Ended up at Exeter, right? And got done for burglary.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
You know,
he played for the team down the bloody road here as well, David. He played for Bristol Rovers as well.
Okay, Helen.
So
he balled up his career.
Yes, he did. He did cock it up. Surely these top flight footballers, right, who are earning 100, 200, they must have financial advice.
Yeah,
you like to think so, wouldn't you? You must do.
Even their agent will say, "Look, let's get you some proper, sound financial advice, investments. Don't go out and keep buying a bloody Ferrari every other week. Don't keep doing this and drinking and doing other nonsense." Surely, I think one of the probably most balanced players that I've read about is Saka at Arsenal. He bought the house. He's a young man still, I know. His parents moved in, right? And I think he's a very balanced young man. He's not the sort of bloke apparently that goes out and buys flash cars. He has got a nice Mercedes, I'm told, but it's not some stupid sports thing. It's a nice car. But, and respect for him for doing that. But surely to God, you know, where are the parents of some of these players? What the hell are you doing?
No, it's true.
What
I mean, I'm just going to go with Rose's comment. Ruddock was on that programme about bailiffs because he owed a pet shop owner money and he couldn't pay it.
Yeah. And that was if I remember correctly, that was a £3,000 debt they wanted to collect. And you know what? Ruddock, he couldn't even pay £1,000 towards it. He couldn't because he couldn't afford it. He literally went bankrupt. Everything was gone.
Bloody hell.
Yeah. And look at the house he was living in, right?
Yeah.
It was nice, but it wasn't a big 5-bedroom detached house with grounds. Yeah. That, I mean, I know roughly where that house is. Okay. And because somebody I know lives in the same estate, but they're not massive. They're 3-bedroom semi-detached houses. Now you think a professional footballer that's earned God knows how much money in their 20-odd year professional career, what have you done with it all? Where's it all gone? Pissed it up.
Pissed it up, as you said. I mean, I can tell you a story. I remember going back quite a few years now. I can't remember the lad's name. A youngster, he signed pro contracts for QPR. And the first thing he did was buy himself a motor. I think he got himself like a 2-litre Golf GTI. And knew him lad, like I am. He was going past the local fire station. By the sounds of it, he was either racing someone and then lost control and then ended up in the fire station's front gardens, believe it or not. Unfortunately, he was killed. His passenger, who was his mate, got maimed for life, and the only one who survived was a kid who sat in the back because he was strapped in properly. But again, it comes down to this is I think it was an 18, 19-year-old kid getting a pro contract, suddenly earning, like 10 grand a week, and the first thing they go and do is something like this, and unfortunately, a loss of life, which is a sad way to a promising career cut so short. Because again, I mean, I'll make you right. If Saka's got advice and he's doing it in the right way, fair play, because that's what you want to see at the end of the day. Rather, as you said, likes of Ruddock and players like that really, literally piss it up the wall, which is a sad thing.
These football teams have something like that now.
I think they've got it in there. Yeah, I think they've got it in place because, as you said, for what they're owning now, we can only dream of earning that in our lifetime with some of these players.
Yeah, Christ almighty, yes. I mean, I remember when Tony Adams got done for that drink driving, and the car he had was a 1.6 GL Ford Sierra. And he went off the road and he crashed into that garden wall.
Yeah.
Because it used, I don't know if it's still true or it happens now. I remember years and years ago, back in that time, 80s and that, club used to get sponsored by certain garages, and the players would get like a Ford Escort, or if they were a youngster, they'd get a Ford Sierra or a Ford Fiesta, I beg your pardon, Ford Sierra or a Granada, something like that. Depends on the level of the player you were. Nowadays, I don't know if that happens anymore, because all you see is these players turning up at the training grounds in bloody Lamborghinis and Ferraris and Bentleys and God knows what else. And good luck to them. I'm not, if you can afford it, I'd have one if I could afford it. I won't lie. But I think the fact is, as you quite rightly said, Tony, you're a young kid, 18, 19, 20 years of age. You suddenly can afford some 30 grand hyped up Golf 6R, what do they call themselves? That a very, very, very quick car. And then you're like jogging that down the road and you get spotted by some young bloody idiot and you end up racing, crashing, because you've got the skills to handle it.
No, exactly.
And then you're dead.
Yeah, exactly.
shocking, really. I think that's where the parents or the club should step in and say, "Oh no, 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 no!" Their agent, who's going to be with them he's going to be talking to them all the time, and that kid's going to say, "Oh well, look, can you get me a deal on this Volkswagen VR6 car or whatever?" And he's going to say, "What do you want that for?"
Yeah, exactly.
No, no, I'm not going to get you a deal on it. Well, okay, the kid can go down the road and splash the dosh, but maybe the club should step in and say, "Look, no, we're not having that. You are our asset for the future, right? We've paid a lot of money for you. We've invested a lot of money. We're paying a lot of money to you. No, I don't know.
That's a good comment. No, that's a good comment, because at the end of the day, you think it's their investment. They should be looking after the welfare of these players, especially the funds that being given them that. Obviously, we know that one person. We are missing him, and he's just put a long-haired Yeti's cave. Sup, you bunch of wrong uns, 2 pricks and early doors, and what old fuzzler.
Not that bad, is it?
We're all missing you,
But
mate.
I know who he calls the pricks. That's us two at the bottom. That's me and Jez. Every time we're on a stream with him, that's what he calls us to.
We are missing him. We are definitely missing him, that's for sure. And speedy recovery, mate. Hope that throat gets sorted out sooner. Yes, true. Yeah, good to see you back on the air soon, mate. Obviously, when the weekends come along, we have the managers' press talks, and then obviously one got cut short early. And we're obviously talking about old Roy Hodgson at Crystal Palace. It's I don't know if the timing is great, because at the end of the day, when you think about it, by all accounts, you've had this Oliver Glasner. So at his age, do you think that was a contributing factor for this illness, or is it a case of that's how the clubs dealt with it, kind of offload him? I mean, what do you make of that, Jez?
Oh, mate, tough, isn't it? Tough. 25 minutes before a press conference, ends up ill in hospital. I don't know. It's a very tricky one. Personally, if I had been the agent of Roy, I'd have when that happened, I'd have just said, "Look, he's calling it a day. Move on."
Yeah.
Rather than go through that drama, show the man some respect. He's been an icon. Well, he's done great service to football in his life. Played for that club. Let's get it right, as a young man. So I think the respect should have been from maybe his family or from the agent to say, "Look, Roy's going to retire and move on," and the club will then wish him the best, hopefully support him through whatever he's going to be. And I must admit, I'm a bit old school and things like that. I don't like seeing people getting disrespected in that way at his age, because he's done what he can do. He doesn't. I mean, I watched him. I think not this week, the week before their game, and he didn't look a well man. When we played them, he didn't look well there. He looked a bit lost, to put it in a nice way.
Yeah, I made that comment when I saw him, because I think the camera panned on him and he was like going around, rotating around, looking at someone. And it's like, bloody hell, he looks completely lost there. So I agree on that. Yeah. I mean, the fortunate thing about it, Jez, at least he's stable. He's apparently he's in a nice ward, and he's being looked after, and he's in a stable condition, which is obviously the main thing you want. I mean, but
I would never want this to be the cause.
No,
of his death.
Yeah,
we all get old. We all going to go one day. I've had a drama in the last 3 months, and it goes through your brain. It goes through your brain. Is this my time?
Of course.
And it's not a nice feeling. And so I just hope the respect is given to this man, and he can bow out gracefully and enjoy the rest of his life with his family. And I think that's the best thing I can say about it.
Yeah. No, that's a good comment. That's a really good comments. Fuzzy, what do you make of that as well?
Yeah, I think it's all sort of the stress of managing at higher level, well, at such a high level. I think it's probably might have something to do with catching up to him. The stress just wearing on him, week in, week out. And things start to go wrong, you're always wondering, oh, when am I going to get the sack? When am I going to get the sack? When am I going to get the sack? And I suppose for people who don't really care too much about it, because, I mean, managers, they earn tons and tons of money in the Premier League. People don't care, then it's just, well, I guess I'll just, wing it until I get my big payout. For other people that do care, I'm sure Roy Hodgson is a manager that absolutely cares about doing the best he could possibly do in whichever job it is that he's in. It's like this wall of lava that's just slowly catching you up, and you're just trying to run away from it, and it's just that dread, and adds all that stress, gets to the breaking point. He probably woke up that morning, the conversations, oh look, Roy, we're going to have to we're going to have a conversation about it this morning. And he probably went to training. It's just like, it's over for me, isn't it? And it's just probably one thing too many. And just it just knocked him out off his feet.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, what's he now, Anthony? 76? Is it 76, 75?
He's 76, 77. It's going into 77 this year. So, I mean, you've got to think of it. This guy he's done a lot. I can remember when he was a manager of Inter Milan over in Italy. Then in the World Cup in '94 over America, he was the manager of Switzerland. So he's done it all. I mean, you've got to respect the guy. Seriously, you've got to respect him for a man to be almost 77 years of age and managing in the fastest football league in the world, in my opinion, the Premier League.
Yeah, true.
You've got to take your hat off to him. But I feel obviously when he came down with this, I felt that I think he was worrying, obviously, because the team weren't performing. They were losing games. They're going down towards the table. They're down towards belly relegation. In all fairness, don't mean anything nasty by it. And if any Palace fans are watching, they've got a chance of going down Palace, and maybe someone like a team like Luton maybe surviving like last game of the season, because Luton didn't go down without a fight. And we've seen it today against Man United. But I just thought he's all got on top of him. And obviously, with his age now, your body changes. He doesn't want to be having any stress, anything like that at his age. I mean, I know I wouldn't want it at 77, So it's all that. It comes into it as well. I feel he's got to call it a day now. He's definitely got to call it a day, but he has got to be respected just for that alone. His age comes into it.
Of course. I mean, this is a great comment for going to ER. I mean, I don't know if you all agree with this one. The biggest disrespect was the owners giving Roy that job again. For me, it seemed that they signed him back on. It was more of a token gesture because obviously he saved them. But to get him back in and that, it was, it showed two things for me. The fact that they couldn't be asked to find anyone else, and the fact of, in certain respects, you can say it was the disrespect. Bringing someone back that you sacked in the first place to kind of keep your club going.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. He did save them. They hobbled a lot. Let's be honest, he never had a lot of money, did he, to do anything with? So he did the best he could do. And the fact he tried, and they're still in the Premier League as we talk. So I'll give the man ultimate respect. But do I agree with him giving that job? No. But I think now it's time to actually hang his boots up for the last time. Sit back, Roy. Enjoy watching the football on the TV, because I think I'd rather you do that than suddenly hearing, he's died from some stroke or
Yeah.
heart
Yeah.
attack from stress. You know, I'd just rather him fade out of football gracefully. We'll still see him on, you know, maybe as a pundit on the odd football show, whatever. But yeah, I'd rather that, man.
No, it's true. That's true. I mean, because at the end of the day, and that, you know, his time's done on it. Basically, it should be done. I mean, he's got to question himself at the end of the day, because I think you're saying, the stress of it all, knowing, especially the rumours were rife that this Glasner is going to come in and going to take your job.
Mm.
It doesn't matter what age he is. It must be that's stressful in itself.
Yeah, oh God, yeah.
Bloody hell! I mean, you know, that's really bad. You know, I mean, Arsenal man, great comment here. You know, in English football, he has to be English management legend. Just the sheer amount of time he's done it exactly.
Totally agree.
But yeah, speedy recovery. So let's hope it's nothing too serious. And as you said, mate, he can enjoy a fruitful life, and that's what he should be doing now.
Well, but if whatever the problem is, if it is heart thing or something, let's be truthful. Pretty much nowadays, the amount of top surgeons and heart people that are around, they can pretty much do bloody anything with your heart. And if it's that, I'm sure you'll go up to St. Bart's. That's the top heart hospital in England. And they'll sort him out. And they'll just say, look, mate, you've now got to sit back, take it easy, chill out, enjoy your life. And you'll go on to be 90 years of age or whatever and have a great time and enjoy your family. You know, he's got kids, he's got grandkids. Take your time out. He's not going to be short of a few quid. So just have a great time. And we'll catch up with you in the future if you ever appear on some football talk show. You know?
Yeah, exactly.
He knows football.
Of course
That's
he does.
it. He's no clown, right? He actually knows what he's talking about. Maybe now he just hasn't got the physicality to deal with it. And at 76, would I want to be doing it? No. No, I wouldn't. I don't think I would. I just don't think I've got the energy to put into it to actually be. How could I put? I think at the age of 76, in a top flight football environment, you've got to have a massive drive to actually continue doing that. And I think that I don't think I'd be able to do it.
No, exactly.
This is why Klopp came out and said he doesn't really want to be a manager after the age of 60. I mean, he's 56, he's 57 this year, but you know, I think he will step back into it after Liverpool. Personally, I think he could give it a spin myself, but you know, he said that in his press conference. He needs after 65, but I mean, you look at it. I mean, going back, I mean, one of the oldest managers was going back to Newcastle was Sir Bobby Robson when he managed them. He was 66 years of age. You know, and obviously, I think he got sacked. I think he was 69. I think he had 3 years in charge, maybe 4. So, you know, he was getting on to the 70 mark then. But, you know, it was obviously stressful and that for him back then. And obviously, I mean, managers don't last long in football these days, longer, you know, than years ago. I mean,
that's true.
Depending on what team you work for and that. But I mean, I think Palace, the reason why he went back there was because I think he felt comfortable there. The reason being, you know, Palace is gutsy. I mean, if you're, it's like if he came in now, let's see if he was the manager of Arsenal, bloody hell, he'd be non-stop irritating. He'd be worried because, you know, we're a better team and we're challenging for the league. I mean, managers like that, you could do that at that age. I mean, so if he survived like relegation with Palace, or you know, maybe got up to 14th, let's say, that's a job well done for Roy. Yeah. So it was less stressful in that. But I think the news that's come out now it broke with this manager replacing him, it could have been a start in bringing on things. But
that's a great point. That is a great point, right? Because when Sir Alex Ferguson had his brain hemorrhage, right, a couple of 3 years ago, there was talk about from, I can't remember, it's one of the top brain surgeons in the UK, was saying that the stress of running a top elite football club week in, week out, 7 days a week, because even in the closed season, you're still running that club. You're thinking ahead, you're planning, da 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 da. And this guy said it's every likelihood that brain hemorrhage was caused from his intense management era, being the top flight manager of Manchester United for all the years he was. Now, I'm not qualified to talk about it because I'm not a brain surgeon, but it's possible. The stress levels, your blood pressure is going to be up. Of course it is when you're under pressure. So that's going to pop stress on your whole body. And you've only got to have a weak point somewhere. And eventually, one day, even though he wasn't in football when it happened, it's going to go bang.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Do you remember when Sam Allardyce, he got wired up, didn't he? Sam Allardyce.
Yeah.
And that went through the roof with his stress elevations kind of thing. So, yeah, it is a big thing there. I'm just going to read out some of the comments here. I mean, big old Jeff, no problem. What's the invite, mate? If you just remind us again, unless I missed a comment, I'm not too sure. You don't want him to win the relegation like Fluffy, but it's true, did it? Yeah, it's true, absolutely. Yeah. Evening, Budgie. Good to see you. Just got home, he says. Welcome, Budgie, coming into the thing. If Arteta doesn't deliver the Premier League or Champions League, he has to go. What's the fucking point giving him another 200 million plus in the summer? It's a fair comment.
Yeah, it is.
Well, that'd be 950 million. If he spends over that, he'll have spent his first billion next year if he's still in charge. Mikel Arteta.
Yeah. Hi, Budgie. How you well, mate? I will give you a call. I didn't get to see you this week. I was a bit too busy, mate, but I will give you a call. Hopefully we'll meet up this week. Come in.
So be good. So let's talk about the weekend's football. So we'll start off with the Arsenal boys. Great result for you guys.
Shocking, rubbish, awful.
No, it was good. It was good. Do you know what? I enjoyed it. And I got to be honest with you. You look back on the last 5 games. That's 21 goals in 5 games. Now, if that's not champions' performance, then what is? But it's like what I said on the last show, the show I just done. We've got to continue this in every game. I mean, we've got Porto coming up on Wednesday night, and people are asking, does he play the same team there, or does he rotate the team a little bit? I think, if anything, he should keep the same team, but we've got to be injury-free. That's the only way we can do it, is to be injury-free this season. And listen, I give him Mikel Arteta. Jez, I tell you, I give Mikel Arteta a bit of stick. I don't think he's the right man. But the minute you can't fault him what he's doing. And so same thing is what Jez said. I give him a 10 in my show. I give him a 10 out of 10 for the performance and and how he's got that team performing at the minute. They got to keep the same momentum, taking it into every game. Because I'll tell you something, if at the minute it seems like the Premier League trophy is just dangling, is swinging in front of us, right? But one slip up and it goes from that to that. And then that's it. We've bottled it again. I don't want to repeat the same performance as last season, but unfortunately, me being me, I can see it. Maybe it might be the last game before the end of the season where we got Man United. I don't know, but I just want. I mean, I suppose he's a nice guy, Mikel Arteta. A nice human being, but I just want him to win Arsenal that Premier League because we haven't won it for a while. And we're due to win it. We were due to win it last season. Yeah. But now, if he don't win it, I'm sorry, but it's got to go. Because we ain't going to win the Champions League. I've ruled that out. Anything after the quarterfinals, to me, is a bonus if we beat Porto. Yeah. So after that is a bonus. So the Premier League is what I want. And if he don't get it, he could be gone. But big ups to him for what he's done at the minute.
Yeah, of course. I'll come back to that. I'm going to just ask Jez this question that AFC always is asking. What player was Arsenal's first signing they brought?
What, when they first turned to become Arsenal?
I believe so. That's what he's asking.
Well, that would be 1913. That's a little bit before my time, mate. I wouldn't have a clue on that one. I wouldn't have a clue. I can throw in some random names, Ted Drake and people like that. But I honestly don't know the answer to that one.
No, fair enough, mate. Yeah, it needs a bit more specific on the question there, AFC always. I mean, obviously, if you look at it, Jez, does it seem that Arteta's actually found a plan B finally? Going by what's going on with the last couple of games.
I think what he's done is amazing. Let me be the first thing to say. No, I think he's gone back to how he started last season. He's not playing this nonsensical inverted left back situation. Kivior, I think, has come in there in replacement of Zinchenko and has been absolute level to those last two games. And Trossard going in at a 9 has been what we've all been asking to happen. My only worry is this. If Jesus comes back from injury, I hope he just doesn't stick him straight back in and take Trossard off, because that will be the end of our title charge. Because Trossard, to me, has more link up with Saka, Martinelli, Odegaard. Another player, Odegaard, last 2, 3, 4, 5 games has been amazing because he's been given the freedom of the pitch. Yeah. Before, I think he's been too told to be way too not have that option. Gabriel and Saliba have been immense. It reminds me of the old Adams and Bold scenario. Yeah, back in the day. And our defence has been sublime. The fact that maybe he's got it right in the fact he's gone back to how we started last season. As we're coming into the final rundown to the end of this season, he's gone to that tactic of playing with absolute intensity, destroying midfields, and but we have to look at the fact, right? Burnley are a very, very poor team. I see them going down. But let's be honest, it's teams like that. If you're going to challenge for the league, you can't afford a draw. You can't afford the little 1-0. You have to go out and rip them apart. And we did. We took them to the cleaners the day we played West Ham. Very poor West Ham. I was expecting a lot more from West Ham that day. Yep. Just didn't turn up. Looked absolutely bloody clueless. We absolutely dominated the midfield. And therefore, you win the game. You control that midfield, you're going to win your game. Because if you don't let them come through, I mean, even your man Bowen, who I absolutely rate, he could do nothing against Arsenal that day.
No.
Now, before I shut up, the thing is, what I like, I'm seeing what Arteta is doing. He has seemed to have got a different sort of game plan. He's now making early subs.
He's not big waiting, difference. Yeah.
Not waiting for the opposing team manager to make subs and then he counteracts it. He's doing it first, which makes that manager, the opposing manager, then think, oh, hang on, what's he done here then? Oh, he changed that. The only one I will question, don't bother bringing in Ketia on. He's rubbish. He's bullshit. Unmarked header yesterday, nuts it out, 5 yards past the bloody near stick, and he's going corner. Like, what are you on, man? The guy is rubbish. He can't even. At one point, it's a free kick. He stood in the wall. Why are you not standing on the flank, waiting for a loose ball to bring it in and have a pop? What are you doing, stood in the wall? If you're playing 9 or whatever wherever you are playing, God knows where you do play, because I haven't got a clue, right? What are you doing, stood in the wall? Did you ever see Thierry Henry, the likes of that, back in the day, standing in a wall? No, I don't think so.
No.
Well, he took the free kicks, didn't he?
Come on, and no. So that's one criticism I would have. I said it last night on the fan cams player ratings. At the end of the day, forget him. Don't bother with him. I'd much rather, right, when you're 5-0 up, 4-0 up, 5-0, whatever it may be, okay, in a game, and you're going to take off Saka and those sort of players, bring on one of the kids. They've got about as much chance of scoring as bloody Nketiah. And they
Yeah.
probably have a go because they want to prove themselves. In Wary, when he played against West Ham, he was giving it a run around. He had the opportunities. I think he was a little bit nervous. He didn't take his opportunities, but okay, I'll give him that. But the more game time he gets, he's going to get more confident and give it a go. So, to me, Arteta, you're doing a fantastic job. Whether you keep it up, please don't go back to bringing on the ex-Man City rejects when they come back fit, because no, leave it as it is. We're playing excellent football right now.
Yeah.
I'm confident we can go forward. I agree with Anthony. We're not going to win the Champions League. This team ain't good enough to come up against the likes of Real Madrid and teams of that ilk, but fight for that league, and you've done very well, sir.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, it will be. I mean, it's a good point here from Big T. I mean, how important is Havertz in the midfield? He seems to be anchoring it lately. Would you agree on that, you two?
I think he's doing very well.
I don't think he's doing a bad job. He is I personally think he is a number. He's just a number that's in there. But I feel that, I mean, when he first signed for us, me and Jess pretty much said the same thing. We always thought there was a player inside Kai Havertz just waiting to come out and perform. That was what we said. But unfortunately, going back, he didn't do that. So he's, I think he's more stuck in his, I think he's more better in that DM ball where he's playing now. I mean, you can't play him out wide or anything like that, which Mikel Arteta did. I mean, he was 6'4" and he lacked pace. I mean, that game against Liverpool when he had, he was 1-on-1, and when he had that shot, but I call it a shot, but it was more like a pass back. He hasn't got a really powerful shot on him. He can't kick the ball hard. So he is back in that 3. I like to see him in that 3. So that's where he should play, and that's where he should stay. So it's not too bad. I mean, you look at it now. I mean, we've got a couple of injuries that's coming back, and you've got Odegaard, Rice, and Havertz. So if he comes back, let's say Thomas Partey, are you going to put him in there, or is there any likes of Jorginho? I mean, do you know what I'm saying?
The thing is, the party situation. I don't think the party situation. For me, I don't think Party's going to be playing for you guys ever again. I think his time's done and dusted there. But what was fortunate for you guys, and I say fortunate, is the fact of Man City again slipped up last night. And obviously, even the Spuds that were had a chance of catching up on you guys lost out against the mighty Wolves. Wolves are doing very well at the moment.
Heartbreaking, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Maybe I'll tell you what, Wolves done a very, very good job. Turn that place into a big toilet.
Big toilet. That's exactly it.
Bring out the toilet.
It worked in Arsenal's.
Great picture.
It was Arsenal's weekend this weekend. Arsenal's weekend. The win, the draw against Man City, and Tottenham losing. That was a perfect weekend for us Arsenal fans. Definitely.
No, exactly. I'm just going to go back on the comment. So, Jeff, if you're still in the chat, mate, I'll be up for that to be on your show. It'd be a pleasure, mate. So, if you want to get in touch, please do. I mean, obviously, the only one that's close to you still is Liverpool. Liverpool's still in the mix. And have you got them coming up? Have you still got them to play, or have you done both games with them now?
No, we've done both games. Yeah.
We can't do anything against them now. We beat them 3-1 at the Emirates, and that put a big dent in there. It reined them in a little bit. It's not down to us anymore. Other teams may be able to help us. I mean, they've got 9 players out.
Yeah.
They've got injuries, so will that dent them and slow them up a little bit? I hope so. I mean, I respect Liverpool as a team. I hate them because they are one of our nemesis. And I just want to quantify that point, right? Because a couple of weeks ago, this fucking idiot in my chat, in my comments, you keep saying Liverpool are a nemesis. They're not our rivals. Really? Oh, okay. Well, considering what they've won in the amount of European Cups, league championships. I think they probably are our rival. But, and I said to him, do you actually know what nemesis means? Nemesis means something that you hate because you very rarely ever beat it. You know, fact, statement. Go and look at your bloody history, fella. Because, you know, we don't go to Anfield and win very often, and we don't even beat them very often at the bloody Emirates. So let's be fair. Let's put that one down the toilet behind Hot Fuss's head. You know, flush that. You know, what makes me laugh? People come out with comments. Research what you're going to say, or you know, put your brain in gear before you're going to say something. Because you do have to make yourselves look stupid. Yeah, because I mean, this is the classic thing, isn't it? You know, when in the week I did that one on Dan Potts with Northside Kenny and myself again with Eagle, right?
Yeah.
And that was classic, man. Is the fact that Dan clipped the one show where it's just me and Eagle talking, and the hate, man alive, I got. Oh, Jez got cooked by Eagle, blah 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 blah, and all that. These are all AFTV people, because Eagle is a typical AFTV fan, right? He'll follow the narrative. I respect him; he's a nice guy, right? But he just goes along with the narrative because he's got an agenda. He wants to be a journo or wants to be on bloody Sky Sports or whatever. Fair play. Get on with it. Ain't ever going to bloody happen. But you know what I'm saying? Make your research before you make a comment, because at the end of the day, shut up.
Yeah, exactly that. AFC always just come back with the answer with your question, Jez. What he meant by the question was, what player do you know who Arsenal signed from supporting Arsenal since 1977? So who supported Arsenal and actually signed from since 1967 by the looks of it?
So Arsenal signed a player. Who do you know who Arsenal signed from supporting Arsenal in 67? Well, I can tell you one. As Liam Brady, for sure, because we bought him through the academy, and he was an Arsenal fan from 67. That may not be the answer you're looking for, but that's one I can definitely say. Was an Arsenal fan in 67 and signed up from there.
Interesting. So Fuzzy, what about you? Oh well, I'm going to come back to our game afterwards, but I'll come to you, Fuzzy. Obviously, you had you didn't have a bad result, did you?
I think he's actually talking about me. Actually,
it's for something more.
I was hoping to deflect it. I was hoping to deflect
yeah, exactly.
Well, good result, but about 10 minutes worth of that game was pretty much our whole Sunday just done and finished. We basically just gave up and might as well have sat down to have a roast dinner for the rest of the game, because we only turned up for about 10 minutes. But you know, credit to Luton, they make it a really tough day for a lot of teams. Completely switched off in the opening 10 minutes, just not turned up at all. Go 2-0 up, and then they start to actually get a bit of a foothold in the game. Come 13 minutes, they get themselves a goal back. But after that, you know, you would have thought that when you say 2-0 is a dangerous scoreline, oh well, yeah, Luton at home, with the way that Kenilworth Road is, they'll be all over this game. And they improved. They got back into the game, but probably missing a little bit of that quality in the final third, and also a bit unlucky, you could say, especially from Ross Barkley right at the very end of the game hitting the crossbar. It's just like that would have essentially been like the last kick of the game. Strike from Barkley off the crossbar, that would have made it 2-2. But no, we rode our luck. But at the end of the day, we take away 3 points from that game. not a huge amount of teams have gone to Kenilworth Road and picked up 3 points all that easily at all. Arsenal struggled. Man City won their game there 2-1 as well. So I know a lot of people are looking at the result and say, oh, that's embarrassing. That's really embarrassing. Name me another team that's won more convincingly. Actually, that's funny. Most convincing winning result at Kenilworth Road this season's been done by Sheffield United. 3-1. No one's beaten them by more at their ground this season, I don't think. So just sums that place up.
Yeah, because I mean, if you look at it, you was gifted a nice early goal by the poor defending.
You call it defending. Just it was a long ball. All the defender had to do was, just pass it back normally to my goalkeeper. Nope, let's do something. God only knows what it was. Try swinging it's like Kai Havertz in front of goal. Sometimes you'll swing for the ball, completely miss it. It was just like, what? You can watch it the whole way, and it's just like, well, come on. Simple pass back to your goalkeeper, and he clears danger. Crisis averted, danger averted. But it's just so typical. The last player, it's like there's a script in the game, like you're playing like FIFA. Playing FIFA, you just like, okay, I want a simple pass back to my goalkeeper, and then you just start having a spasm on the pitch. What's this about? I just asked for a pass. He's just completely fluffed his lines. Landed up to our striker, Rasmus Højlund. He'll take that chance. Happy days. I mean, the funny thing is that Rasmus Højlund today, both of his goals, not one of them was actually created by genuine brilliance in build-up play. Literally just a long ball over the top and a complete defender's mistake in trying to play the ball back to the goalkeeper. Second one, Garnacho, that ball's probably going out for a goal kick because he's sort of scuffed it a bit and it's going away from goal. Højlund just so happens to be standing in the way, just goes, there you go.
Just a nice old
sends it to the far post, and the goalkeeper's diving for near post because that's where he thinks the deflection's going to go, but he sends him the wrong way. So, we'd take the shithousery. We'll take it.
3
Happy
points
days.
3 points. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, 3 points.
3 points is 3 points. I mean, obviously, the question I'm going to ask you then, going by your recent results and that, can Man United sneak in fourth spot?
Yeah, it's possible. It's unlikely. For me, the most likeliest position is finishing sixth. But if Tottenham are losing at home, with their pretty much their first team back in action to Wolverhampton Wanderers, then it's like we talk about the top four run-ins in previous years gone by. It's not about which team can take advantage of it. It's just which team throws the run-in to finishing those positions hard enough. So we'll probably get straight back into those positions, but then we'll start bottling games as well. So then it will literally be just us, Tottenham, Aston Villa, maybe somebody else, just screwing the pooch every single week. And you're just like, why can't a team just simply take advantage of the situation and put yourself in the driving seat? And that's probably how the season's going to end. Just scrappy. All of us going to experience inconsistencies. And it's just like, well, if we get into the top five, yeah, great, fantastic.
Yeah.
Whoop-de-doo. If we don't, it's like, well, we deserve to not be there.
You give it a go, but that was about it. I mean, Anthony, I see you shaking your head there. So you're not a firm believer that they've got a chance?
They might have, but the only thing that's going to stop them, and I'm going to be honest with you, is Aston Villa, in my opinion. Because you think of it, you're going to have Man City, Liverpool, and Arsenal. Wherever that is going to finish, we don't know. Hopefully, Arsenal first. You got to think that's 3 out of that 4, and I think Villa's going to do something. I mean, he had a good win on the weekend. Ollie Watkins scored 2 goals for them. He's literally changed that Villa team. as we know it.
Mm.
I mean, they were 17th when he took over, and look at them now. I mean, they're I think are they fourth? They are fourth, aren't they? Though?
Yeah.
Yeah, they are
Well,
fourth.
yeah.
Yeah, so
Mm.
it's like what I said that it's all they've got to think of it. You know, I mean, they've got to look at the teams behind them, obviously, which is more realistically is going to be Tottenham and Man United. I'm sorry if Mama Frost is still watching, but I don't feel that Newcastle are going to do that. I think they're going to just dip off a little bit. But you know, I mean, that's the way it is. But I feel like Unai Emery's got that team. I favour them to finish fourth spot with Man United fifth and well, it'd be out of fifth and sixth. It'd be between Man United and Tottenham, I reckon, for that. But I just feel. I mean, I thought Man United were lucky to win today because I thought the better team lost. I mean, I watched the game, and it's like what I said with Luton. I mean, look, when we played Luton at their ground, we were lucky that Declan Rice was at the right place at the right time to win us that winning goal when we won 4-3. And if anything, I thought Luton should have come out and they deserved to come out and get something out of that game against us, even if it was a draw or a win. They were the better team, you know, and I'll always say that in that first game we played. But you know, they didn't. Luton with me is like watching them is like the good old English football, how it used to be played years ago. They don't go down without a fight, and it's that simple. It's not all this tippy tappy, crappy shit and skills and God knows what else. It's good old. To me, it's like good old fashioned football, the way how it should still be played. So that's the reason why I think they'll survive Luton. To be honest with you,
I think so. Yeah,
I think they'll stay up. So yeah, so I mean, well done Fuzzy. Obviously getting the win. You were lucky. I will say that. But I think Ross Barkley was
Mm.
brilliant for them in the midfield for Luton. He pretty much had a good game.
Yeah.
Same
So,
with Adebayo as well, because he actually pulled up injured in the warm up for the game. Because
Yeah.
he was set to start up top with what was it, Morrison Ogbene just in behind him, but then he had to switch it out. Yeah, so
But yeah,
big
but I think if
miss.
like somebody would have started that game, you would have played better. Definitely.
You're just pulling my leg. You.
Got a
I
question
don't
for you.
understand why you Man United fans don't like McTominay. He's like one of your top goal scorers.
He's
in
a
the
goal
league.
machine. He's a goal machine. Question for
Spoiler squad.
two Arsenal boys. If Arsenal could win another title, league title at Old Trafford or the new Tottenham Stadium, which one would you prefer? Either stadium would be hilarious.
Tottenham.
You
Easy.
can christen it. You can christen their stadium with
Evening,
the
Miss
first
Molina. Good to
trophy in
see you on
football
here.
that they've seen.
And then what I would do then, gents, you see that toilet behind Fuzzy, I would sit on it and have a nice, great, big, fucking skinny dump right down in the middle of it. That's what I would do.
If we were to win the title at Tottenham's new ground, that'd be 3 times we'd won the title at Tottenham. So
Wow.
I'll take that all day long.
And
I mean, I respect Man United as a club. I don't like them because the amount of fights and fighting for titles, I mean, and trophies over the years back in the day. But it's a different thing with Tottenham. Different thing altogether. You know, I mean, they don't win shit, but it's the fact they're just the noisy little neighbours down the road, and they like to keep squirking away every now and again. And I just love turning around and saying, "Shut up."
The thing about the big toilet behind me as well is that the flush lever is hidden as well. So
The nice thing is if that it is a toilet. I'll get it right. You know, you flush that, mate, and you're going to flood all the top. Loving that.
Yeah, indeed. So big up Drew Gunners in there as well, and obviously we've got Keeping It Real Chelsea. Big up JPT. Big up guys. Hope you're all well. Glad to hear Jez cook up the fishmongers at AFTV. And obviously, I'll go on to our game, as you know. Again, it seems that Moyes got his tactics wrong. It seems to be the main thing that's come out from that. And again, he's trying to blame the players for not doing their job. So I'm just going to go back to them starred comments. People asking about the fans fighting, basically. So obviously, Decanio WXU, the ignorance and arrogance of the pundits towards West Ham fans is making me turn off mainstream sports media. And I think that goes for most media. You know, the rumour mill that they try and spread. And as you said, Jez, AFTV are a great one for doing that. They definitely spin that. So it's a big old thing. Game Killer saying, Sky Junior was saying that Thomas Tuchel is on Liverpool's replacement of Klopp. That'd be an interesting one. So the fans fighting, Arsenal Manics asking which section won. I think both did in this stage. And a great comment here from by Jamino. Almost started a fight in my Sunday League game today. Got kung fu kicked mid-air and started pushing the guy when I got off the ground. Guess who got sent off and who got the yellow card? Interesting.
He did.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think, Moyes has got to stay in until the end of the season at least. I don't think there's no other outcome. But it's who we get in. That is the big question mark for me. Obviously, there's talks that Potter is in the background. I'm not too sure on that one. I mean, obviously, like I said, Chelsea was a big step up for him. I mean, JPT will definitely tell you that. But maybe for West Ham, he could be a good fit. It seems to be his kind of type of club. I don't know. I mean, what do you make of that, Fuzz? Would you say Potter?
Potter's a significant candidate. Whether he is the perfect fit, I think remains to be seen. I think you had a conversation about, I think somebody had asked a question about maybe Thomas Frank as well from Brentford. And maybe that's a potential candidate as well. I wouldn't say it would be. I think a lot of people hate on Potter quite easily just because of how wrong it went for Chelsea. I know he did good stuff with Brighton, but some people say, well, his team's never really scored that many goals. But then again, everyone was still raving mad about him whilst he was at Brighton anyway. So, I think for me, West Ham's probably an ideal level of club for Potter to go into, as opposed to a Chelsea that's got a new ownership and seems to be a bit of a mess, a bit of a free for all most of the time. But it really just depends on how he does. If that's the option, if they choose to go with Potter, I'd like to see it work out for him. So I think he's still got something to offer, but no one really knows until it actually happens, unfortunately. But I would say it wouldn't be a bad appointment by any means.
I mean, what about you, Jez? What do you think about Potter? Do you think he'd be a good fit for West Ham?
I don't think he'd be a bad shout. I think he's a decent manager. I just think he moved to Chelsea at the wrong time.
Yeah.
It was just too big a job. He was doing decent at Brighton. I mean, let's be honest, any manager of a smaller club, Brighton, with respect to them, you're going to jump at it, aren't you? You're going to go for it. I mean, the money you're going to get offered compared to what you're getting offered at Brighton and the budget that Chelsea have got compared to Brighton, you're going to take it on. I just think at the time it was the wrong move for him as a manager. I would say if the opportunity was that Moyes in the summer goes, or you decide at the end of the season time's up, move on, then I don't think it's a bad shout. I'm just going to throw this one in the mix. It all depends what happens at Newcastle with Eddie Howe as well.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I didn't think of that one. It's a good shout, Jez.
Because I think Newcastle, they're a very the backing of their management structure. They're an ambitious team now. All right, they haven't spent loads and loads and loads of money yet, but they've got bag loads of money. If they don't end up in a, how can I put it, in a sort of challenging, not challenging, that's not the right word. How can I put it? in a position in the league where they've given it a chance, then he could be on his way. Because I think Newcastle, that maybe with their management, could say, well, you've tried, but it hasn't worked, so maybe we need to move on and get somebody else. I don't know. I'm just putting that out there. So he could be in the mix. I hear what you're saying, Tony. I can't see Moyes going before the summer, personally. If it comes up at the summertime that it's looked and there's discussions with the management to say, well, okay, we had a chance. Thanks for what you've done for us. You got us a European trophy, but the money you had for Declan Rice didn't really work out. Maybe then it could be that then you've got the option of going for 2 or 3 different managers. Personally, that's why I'm looking at it anyway.
Yeah, it's true. I mean, obviously, like, you know, Gooner are saying West Ham we meant to take Potter, whereas Big T's saying, would you like to take Mourinho on early doors? I mean, obviously there is, you know, the fan base is talking about Mourinho. Wouldn't be a bad shout, I suppose. One last hurrah. He needs to get, you know, top up his, you know, millions he's amassed so far from leaving clubs. But yeah, I think any team would more likely take Mourinho on. We know what we're going to get with him. 3 seasons if you're lucky, but he could turn a team into champions. So maybe you never know. Could be a good shout.
A good shout. Very good shout.
Actually. I mean, I said obviously, you know, I think the last week I said Thomas Frank for me. I think that would be a great shout for us if we can get hold of someone like him. It'd definitely be a good net. I mean, Anthony, what's your view on that one?
Yeah, I think Moyes, you'll have it to the end of the season. If you are going to get a new manager, listen, I don't want to be watching on YouTube and then I'm going to hear, hello folks, welcome to early doors TV. It's been reported that Zinedine Zidane has been seen outside the stadium because I'll be pissing myself laughing, honestly. But in all fairness, you got to think, you had a manager that was in, which was the old ex-Man City manager when he won them the league, and in all fairness, he didn't do nothing for you. In the time that he was there, so it makes me think. I don't think Jose Mourinho's on £20 million a bloody season. I don't think West Ham's going to be paying that for a manager. I really don't. I feel along the lines of maybe it could be a Potter, or if not, it could be Cooper when he finally gets sacked at Forest. So I thought I'd put that in there. Yeah, because you like saying that, right? And I think it'd be a manager like that, you know, sort of thing. It'll either be like a Cooper or a Graham Potter. That I reckon that's who will manage West Ham, because you're not going to pay dear for these managers. You're just not. So
no, not if Sullivan in charge anyway. That's for sure.
Yeah. So you're going to be looking. I mean, what about Carrick? He's doing a good job at Middlesbrough at the minute.
Yeah, he's in the mix as well as a possible replacement. I mean, just going to go on to Long Edge. You're right, mate. You did a number on us like we did to Arsenal when we beat them 2-0. Forest definitely did a number on us. There's no 2 ways about it. I mean, we were poor. Yeah, I mean, Carrick's in the mix. He's in there. I think his name's been banded about, but I don't know if they want just a bit more experience.
Yeah. I think you'd be better off going for the experience, but it's like what I said. It'd more likely be someone like Cooper or Potter for me. That'd take over the West Ham job.
Yeah, it seems to be like, I mean,
you don't want this guy here.
That's for sure. I don't think any club would want to have that man in charge. This would
be his last campaign. This would be his last campaign for England. That's a fact. Because I'm not a Gareth Southgate fan, and I tell you what, I got a funny feeling that England job, that's going to be Jose Mourinho's job.
Good shout.
Yeah, possibly.
Good shout. Suppose Jose could go for Europa League with West Ham. Yeah, he could do. Or go off a season with Jose for the Europa. Yeah.
I just seen on the timeline for a video in the Newcastle stands, a little section where there was a recording being taken after the Bournemouth game that there were fans chanting for Jose Mourinho. So apparently, don't know if it might have been edited or if it's something that's actually real. But if it is real, then that's a bit of significance as to what Newcastle fans are how they're feeling at the moment.
Should be interesting because I must admit, when the new owners came in at Newcastle, I thought, that's it. Eddie Howe's done because they're going to get someone else to replace him straight away. But fair play, they're stuck with him. Wasn't
that actually Steve Bruce? The
Steve
second
Bruce
they
was-
came in, Steve Bruce was sat there. I was just like, oh, nice, got new ownership. Can't wait to get started. What's my first job on the cards? Sign this P45.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
No, it's very true. Very true.
Well, speaking of Newcastle as well, by the way, considering they're having problems, it's probably because they're trying too hard to fight to keep Dan Ashworth.
Yes, because he's going to
Today-
come to you guys. Yes.
He has apparently said that he's actually asked the club now he's requested to leave the club.
Wow.
He's told them now publicly, I'd like to leave the club. So it's out there now.
It's on, the movement is there. The movement is there.
Mm.
Anyway, guys, we've come on to an hour and 30 minutes. So I'm going to start with you, Anthony. If you'd like to shout yourself out, please, mate.
Yeah, you can find me on Football United TV, where I do a show, Gunners from All Corners. That's going to be Thursday night at 9 o'clock. Also, we did a Sunday show today, so we're going to have one next week. You can also find me on Early Doors channel on this one, the Sunday Night Takeaway, and also on the Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. I might have to say something about that show because it's Wednesday night and Arsenal's got Porto Wednesday night. So
Ooh.
yeah, I don't know what's. I mean, if you want me on the show, obviously I'll come on the show, but I'll have the telly on, but I'll have it like down so I can.
Well, we might do a one-off, and we might honour you. That might move it to another day for you, mate. So anyway, we've got the three of us still together.
We could just do the good, the bad, and just say the ugly's busy watching Porto.
That's this guy. He's in the ugly this week. He's in the ugly this week.
Again. That's for
Again.
sure.
What's my eyebrows like this week, Tim?
You'll find out, mate.
Oh, all right,
They're
mate.
up here
Find
now.
out.
But
Cheers,
yeah,
Mike. Good to see
that's
you.
where you can find me, and make sure you click subscribe to everybody's show. That's obviously in this panel, Hot Fuzz 44, and obviously Arsenal History more. Jez's channel, great channel, good content,
Cheers, Jeff.
and real ones as panelists. That's all I can say.
No, thank you, mate. I mean, Jez, what you got coming up this week? And if you'd like
Yeah,
to shake yourself out as well.
Yeah, first of all, mate, I just want to quickly say to you, congratulations on hitting the 200 subs.
Thanks, mate. Thank you very much.
Well done on that, man. It's always a milestone. And tomorrow night, usual weekly podcast with Lee and Kenny and Matty, 5 p.m. Either Tuesday or Thursday, I'm doing my weekly chat with Kenny Ken.
Big up, Gracie, mate.
And then the Friday night is the quiz show, Anthony, with Kenny and Kyle and Jack Ramsey.
That
that
should be
one.
a good show.
Anybody's welcome to join if they want to. So we'll see about that. And I might do a match review show tomorrow. I was going to do it today. Unfortunately, I didn't have time. Tim, Jez, will you, Kenny, and Lee admit you got it wrong? Until sometime he wins something, then no. They've won nothing yet. So there you go.
That's good. Fuzzy, yourself, just came and couldn't fish. Exactly, yeah, exactly.
Yeah, big ups to everybody. Yeah, you can find me over on Hot Fuzz 44 OG. If you're watching from my channel as well, I do have the links to everybody on the panel's channels in the stream description. So if you are watching from my end, you can just click on the description down below and link to everybody's channels, to Early Doors, to Anthony Herbert's channel that he features on, but also Arsenal History and more. So yeah, do be sure to go spread the love and subscribe to everybody all around. It's a quick bit of transfer business. I don't know what you guys think about this transfer. Fantastic transfer, this. Wolfsburg, the women's team in Wolfsburg, have made the signing of 24-year-old Janina Minge.
Oh, I know her. Yeah, terrible. Oh.
He's signed on a contract till 2027, literally, on the official Wolfsburg Twitter account. So hopefully she hits the ground running over there and makes an impact.
It depends on it depends on her surname, how big it is, kind of thing. Basically, I suppose it goes down to that.
Yeah, true.
If they
I'll see if I can
the
get
ground first.
And if she did, they were sliding tackles with her legs up in the air. That's another nah.
Yeah.
It's got a unique style of play about her, I tell you. If you don't believe me, I can literally post a picture in the group chat as well.
No, I don't want us to look at that.
Not that, because he's already got the chat.
Anthony can't remember what he looks like, so probably you might need to post it in there just to remind him, basically. Great one, Budgie. Anthony, Budgie is standing for you on Wednesday, so we can do Budgie on there as well.
Oh, right. Okay.
So it'll fit in for you, so that's good, mate. At least you can keep an eye on it anyway, in that respects. Thanks, Budgie. I'll send you a link on for that show and that, so it'd be good to have him in there as well. Best if it's Arsenal team ever laughing. Just read out the last couple of comments, and if I just give a lot fuzzy. If she's a goalie, is she a flapper?
Oh, God.
Well, funny you say that. If you watched the Naru go against Luke today, there was the biggest flapper going on straight away. Maybe you learned off of her.
This is sounding like Yeti now, isn't it? He's look, here we go. What's that? Okay, I'll check it. That's not too bad.
Can't wait to see Minge in the box.
Oh dear.
Grace may have sent you a message as well, Jez. So on that note, obviously, as we're coming nearer to the end, yes, please, if you don't forget, if you can share, like, and subscribe to the likes of Hot Fuzz 44, the Arsenal History and More with Jez, Anthony Herbert with Gun Off to All Corners, the Football Agenda, and he's also on the Man United Agenda as well. He likes agendas for some particular reason, but, it's good to see him on there as well. And also, don't forget the people like Green Street Elites with Budgie, the Bowling Lounge with Jeff, his newly formed channel. Don't forget that guy as well. And obviously our main man who's currently sick at the moment, Long Edge Yeti's Cave. Don't forget that as well. Nobody's watching your end, Fuzzy. So make sure to subscribe to these guys as well. And as always, this is the end of the show. It's 1 hour and 37 minutes. It's been a pleasure having you guys with us and that. And we can either say more is out or more is in. Thanks again, guys, for chatting in. Yes, it's debatable. Thanks again, guys, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Take care for now.
Like and subscribe.